Today is Labor Day 2017, and I'm outside working, which I think maybe I should be doing on Labor Day, trimming the bushes around our house. As I was doing this, God spoke to me and said, you need to record what's on your heart, what I put on your heart today, and share it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'd like all of you that pray to pray for my family right now, because we are going through some really tough times, and my heart is broken. It's basically really aching right now. I can't go into specifics, but just pray for our family. With that being said, recently, 8 years ago, I became a grandfather for the first time, and I entered a season in my life that I have treasured. My grandchildren are they just mean the world to me. And I also feel the weight of being a good grandfather, one that tries to do the right things at the right time and say the right things and lead my grandchildren in a direction that I think God wants them to go. It's a hard thing to do. Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, and Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says there is a time for everything and a time for season for every activity under heaven. It goes on to say there was a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. With that being said, Ecclesiastes was written by he was the wisest man that ever lived. God gave him wisdom that no other man before him had, and no other man since him has had, except for Christ, who was God-man. And even with the wisdom that God gave Solomon, towards the end of his life, married many women outside the tribe of Israel, and they corrupted his mind, and he worshipped other gods than our God. And I know that when you worship other gods besides God, he's a jealous God, and he'll condemn you for that. I don't know if Solomon ever repented from those sins, but what I'm trying to tell you is here we have the wisest man that ever lived on the earth, and his compass didn't point north, true north. Now, there is a magnetic north, and there is a true north. And the true north is a geographic north on which the axis around the earth, which the earth spins, and that's the true north. And if you would go to the North Pole, to the true north, and point a camera up in the air at nighttime and do a time exposure, the stars would do a complete perfect circle. Magnetic north also points in a direction. That's where your magnetic needle on your compass points. And I have a picture of a compass, and I'll show that to you. But what I want to say is that there's no man that lives on earth who does the right thing all the time. We all make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes have consequences. Sometimes they can be life-changing mistakes, and that's where we're at right now as a family. And I ask again for your humble prayers, because prayers mean everything. Now, some of you may remember a man named Clayton Moore. Clayton Moore was an actor, and he acted between the years of 1954 and 1957. And one of his most famous roles was the Lone Ranger. He portrayed the Lone Ranger, and every time I watched him as a boy, he always did exactly the right thing. Well, where I'm going with this is that because we don't always do the right thing, and we don't always make the right choices. That is one key reason why I am in the Bible, or I try to be in the Bible every day. If I take myself out of the Bible, take myself away from devotions, I fall away from the Lord. My compass doesn't make a true north, and then I get off course. We have what I call a moral compass, and no man that's ever existed had a perfect moral compass, and that's what I want you to think about today. People look at Christians that read the Bible and believe in God as having a weakness, but I see that more as a strength. And God blesses you when you read His Word and you keep it on your heart and you live according to His Word. So with that being said, this is the Old Timer. This is just a short video, and I'm signing off today. But again, I'm asking, remember to pray for me and my family. Thank you, and God bless you.